Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to our OnStage Alaska presentation. My name is Andrew Fowler, and I'm the franchise partner here with Expedia Cruises in North Vancouver in Lynn Valley on the North Shore. Joining us are a couple of Alaskans, Caitlin and Taylor from Holland America. Hello.
Hi. Hi there.
Well, I can't wait to get started. We have hosted this event now, I think, 3 or 4 years, and it is popular with our crew, especially our mariners, because they know what this is all about and how they get value from this. But we have a lot of new people joining us here today who may have never experienced Alaska or Holland America for that fact. So we're looking forward to today's presentation to get them really excited. If you haven't heard already, and this is being recorded in January of 25, about 70% of Alaskan sailings are sold out. So if you're looking to travel to Alaska this year, you definitely want to jump on board before we pull away from the pier and make that booking. It starts with a low deposit and then works its way upwards to final payment the closer you get to sailing. So with that, I am going to turn this over to Caitlin and Taylor. Take us away, or shall we say, set sail?
All right, wonderful. Well, welcome everyone to Holland America Line's OnStage Alaska. My name is Taylor and this is Caitlin. We are your Alaska experts, and we are so excited to spend the next 40 minutes or so sharing a little bit about how we can help make your Alaska vacation dreams a reality. And we want to start by thanking Andrew and the rest of the folks at Expedia Cruises for having us on today. We are thrilled to share our love and expertise about the Great Land with you. All right, so see if my clicker is working. Clicker, test. Okay, here we go. No, maybe not working. All right,
I'll just click through.
We'll click through. We try to use a fancy clicker. Sometimes it doesn't work. You know, this is live, folks. Well, when you think of Alaska, you likely envision glistening glaciers, abundant wildlife, and untouched wilderness. Holland America is unparalleled at bringing these elements to the forefront of your journeys.
And in Holland America, we have a tradition of travel. We've been sailing for over 150 years, and we've been bringing guests to Alaska for over 75 years, which is longer than Alaska has even been a state. So that deep knowledge and those long-standing relationships that we've developed in the area allow us to offer you exclusive and authentic Alaskan experiences. So once again, my name is Caitlin.
And I'm Taylor.
And we are both originally from sunny South Florida. So you might be wondering how two Florida girls became your Alaska experts. Well, 4 years ago, I went out to Alaska for the very first time, and four friends and I rented an RV and did all of the Alaska things. So we went halibut fishing, ice climbing, glacier kayaking, and I fell in love with Alaska. And the next summer, I had the chance to return to Alaska to work, and even better, I got to work with a friend.
That friend is me. So Caitlin and I work as tour directors for Holland America. And what we do is we bring folks like you all throughout Alaska's interior and even into the Yukon territory of Canada. So we've developed a wealth of knowledge about those places that we're excited to share with you today. We like to think of ourselves as reverse snowbirds because we escape the heat and humidity of the Floridian summer in exchange for the ideal weather conditions of the Alaskan summer.
So now that you know a little bit more about us, we'd like to take the next few moments to let you know a little bit more about who we are at Holland America. We have perfectly sized ships, destination dining, award-winning service, and the best entertainment at sea.
When you look at Holland America in Alaska specifically, the touchstones that set us apart become even more apparent. We are the #1 cruise line for Alaska wildlife and wilderness, as well as #1 in Alaska glaciers. We even have a glacial guarantee. We give our guests more time on land, which allows us to connect them to authentically Alaskan experiences. And finally, we have a fresh local seafood program that brings the bounty of the Alaskan sea onto your plate.
Oh,
Oh,
I see we have a question. And if you haven't been to Alaska, you yourself might have some questions about Alaska in general. Now, the first of which might just be, how great is the Great Land? Alaska is immense. It covers an area of over 665,000 square miles. So it's larger than the states of California, Texas, and Montana combined. But that vastness is what makes it such an incredible destination to travel to.
folks often wonder what the best time to visit us in Alaska is. Now, my simple answer is going to be whenever you have the most time to fully enjoy it. But we offer a generous tourism season here at Holland America, and it begins in May and ends all the way in October. Now, it starts in spring. In Alaska, spring is a time of renewal. You have blooming wildflowers, thawing landscapes, and migrating wildlife returning to the region. Next up is summer. Summer is where we earn our title, the land of the midnight sun. Now, we have many hours of daylight during this time, and it is the peak of our tourism season. On summer solstice, in fact, that is our longest day of sunlight in the year. And every year in the city of Fairbanks, they play an annual baseball game where the first pitch is thrown at midnight. Finally, that brings us to fall. Fall ushers in a spectacle of colors. The tundra explodes into a tapestry of amber and yellow hues. Wild blueberries grow hillside, and it is a prime time for photographers. Now, it does finally start to get dark at night, which gives you the chance to see the elusive aurora borealis. And if you stay with us at one of our Holland America owned hotel properties, you can even request a Northern Lights wake up call.
So we can talk about Alaska's size and seasons all day long, really. But I think the real reason that many of you want to come to Alaska is to experience some of its incredible wildlife. And Holland America is the #1 cruise line for Alaska wildlife and wilderness tours. And that is because we offer over 175 wildlife experiences alone. So you can encounter anything from visiting a dog mushing village on a glacier to cruising through the Kenai fjords waiting for a pod of whales to breach. There really is something for everyone. And folks often wonder, what am I going to see? And travel to Denali and other parts of Alaska's interior allow you the chance to encounter some of our land Big Five animals, which are the bear, Dall sheep, moose, gray wolf, and caribou.
Now, in addition to the land Big Five, we also have the marine Big Five. The beauty of cruising in Alaska is you might be able to glimpse some of these majestic sea creatures from the comfort of your cruise ship. So the marine Big Five consists of the orca, stellar sea lion, sea otter, gray whale, and humpback whale. Alaska is world renowned for its whale watching. In fact, around 600 humpback whales migrate every single summer season to the seas of Southeast Alaska. Now, they come to Alaska solely for the purpose of feeding. They can eat up to 3,000 pounds of fish per day, and they actually use a cooperative hunting technique called bubble net feeding, where they use collective effort to push the fish to the top of the water and make it easier to hunt. So it's truly a spectacle to witness if you get the chance.
Now we are looking ahead to our 2025 season, which is promising to be the best yet. We will have 6 ships positioned in the region, and we'll be offering a wide variety of both cruise and cruise tour itineraries. And Holland America is the only cruise line to include a UNESCO World Heritage Site visit on every itinerary. Now, one of those sites that we include, a possible site, is Glacier Bay National Park. Now, that's where we offer more sailings than any other cruise line. And Glacier Bay is home to over 1,000 glaciers. Next is Wrangell St. Elias, which offers some of the largest volcanoes and the highest concentration of glaciers in North America. And it's also home to the second largest glacier in the world, which is Hubbard Glacier, which is 76 miles long. And then finally, we have, as of September 2023, the newest UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is Dawson City, located in the Yukon Territory of Canada. And we'll be talking all about Dawson City a little bit later on.
Now, in addition to UNESCO World Heritage Sites, you can visit some iconic US national parks. If you take a cruise or cruise tour with us, you could visit Glacier Bay, Wrangell St. Elias, Kenai Fjords, and Denali National Park.
And with Holland America, you can experience Alaska 2 different ways. The first of which is our Alaska cruise. So that is your travel by sea. And think of your cruise as your foundation for exploring Alaska. And we offer a wide variety of 7 all the way to 28-day itineraries.
We also have cruise tours. So this is going to be a combination of travel by both land and sea. So we add land into the equation and extend your adventure into the heart of Alaska. And we even have exclusive access to the Yukon Territory, since we offer the only cruise tours that take our guests there. Now, these range between 9 all the way to 18 days. And some of them even have your very own tour director, like Caitlin and I, who helps to enhance and maximize the time that you spend on land.
So while you can experience Alaska 2 different ways with a cruise or a cruise tour, we're going to break those down even further and talk about the 3 categories of Alaska vacations that we offer, which are our Alaska cruises, our Alaska and Denali cruise tours, and our Alaska, Denali, and Yukon cruise tours. Now we're going to break all of these down in further detail for you.
But first, let's start with cruising, because everyone who travels to Alaska with Holland America will set sail on a cruise. We offer 7, 14, and 28-day cruise itineraries. Some of these are round trips from hubs like Vancouver, as well as Seattle. And we even have some convenient weekend departures. Now, a favorite itinerary of mine right now is the 14-day Great Alaska Explorer. This one takes you to some off the beaten track destinations like Sitka, Valdez, and Kodiak. And it's one of the first that sells out, so make sure that you speak to your travel advisor about it.
Now, Alaska might be known as the last frontier, but you will have a comfortable base aboard our cruise ships. And that begins in your spacious, elegantly appointed staterooms, where we offer personalized touches through our award-winning service. We want you to think of your stateroom as your home away from home. And there are many different categories to fit every traveler's preference, every different stateroom categories to fit every traveler's preference. And booking early just helps you to ensure that you receive not only your category of preference, but also your sailing date of preference. And all of our cruises offer different ways to discover, taste, and experience Alaska so that you're not just going to feel like a tourist, but a traveler who is immersed in culture. To experience Alaska, we have shore excursions designed to connect you to the history, culture, nature, and people of the state.
When I travel to a new place, I love to experience it through my palate. And with Holland America, you can truly taste Alaska. We are the first and only cruise line with a responsible fisheries management certification that deems that we serve fresh, local Alaskan seafood aboard all of our vessels in the 49th state. So by sailing with us, you'll be supporting both local Alaskan fishermen as well as the vitality of our fish populations. You'll see local ingredients peppered all throughout the menu. There might be fresh picked berries baked into desserts, or you could have your chance to sample reindeer sausage. A highlight for many folks is going to be our Alaska-inspired beverage program. Now, these are cocktails and mocktails that come complete with a glacial ice cube taken from an already calved 800-year-old glacier.
But glaciers are just the tip of the iceberg. There are many different ways to discover Alaska, and that's due to our location-specific onboard programming. We bring wildlife experts on board. You can attend a lecture on the Iditarod race or learn about the Tlingit culture from a native storyteller. Now, all of this location-specific onboard programming is just going to ensure that you feel like you're in Alaska, even if you don't step off the ship. And at Holland America, we are #1 in Alaska glaciers. Now, that is due in large part to our long history in the state. So we are able to offer more sailings into Glacier Bay than any other cruise line. And there's only 2 permits allowed per day in Glacier Bay. So that's pretty special. And all of our sailings offer at least 1 day of scenic glacier cruising. Now, our glacier days are a highlight for many of our guests. We begin first and foremost by serving our world famous Dutch peas soup. We are Holland America after all. That is on every deck of the ship. But if you're not a split pea soup fan, we also serve hot chocolate. And the captain may even open the bow of the ship to give you an even better glacier vantage viewing points. And we also bring park rangers on board who lend their expertise for the entire day in Glacier Bay. So they'll narrate your journey. You can attend lectures, Q&A sessions. So we really bring the national park to you, even the national park stamp. And many of our sailings offer a glacier guarantee that entitles you to 15%, that's 1-5, in future cruise credit if you do not visit a glacier.
Now, Holland America sails to several iconic glacial destinations. I'll talk about a couple of them, starting with Mendenhall Glacier. Now, this is located near the port of Juneau, and it's reachable via shore excursion. What's so unique about Mendenhall is that you can access it via a short, flat walking path that takes around 15 minutes or so. It's a really unique way to get up close and personal with a glacier from the land side. We also have College Fjord. College Fjord is located near the port of Whittier, and it's reachable either by scenic glacier cruising aboard your Holland America ship or via shore excursion. College Fjord is famous for having all of its glaciers named after Ivy League colleges. So you can come home from your vacation and tell all of your friends that you went to Harvard. Now, Holland America offers more ways to see glaciers than any other cruise line. Of course, that starts with cruising, but we also have hiking, flight seeing, and my personal favorite, which is dog sledding. Holland America gives guests more time on land. We visit some spectacular ports of call, and we'll start by talking about Juneau. Juneau is the state capital of Alaska, and it is accessible only by air or by sea. Now, it is world renowned for whale watching. In fact, some of the shore excursion providers there are so confident that you will spot a whale that they offer money back guarantees. Next up is Ketchikan. Ketchikan is a town that was built on the timber, tourism, and salmon fishing industries. It is famous for halibut and salmon fishing, so if you'd like to go fishing, I highly recommend going to Ketchikan. I know that my parents came and visited me last summer, and we caught over 150 pounds of halibut that we shipped home to our doorstep in South Florida, so we are definitely still enjoying our catches. Now, if you are a fan of the television program, The Deadliest Catch, Ketchikan is also home to a shore excursion that takes you out on the Bering Sea aboard an authentic crabbing vessel. So you really get to experience what that is like. Finally, that brings us to Skagway. Skagway is the gateway to the Klondike, and it is famous for the #1 rated tourist attraction in all of Alaska, which is the White Pass and Yukon Railroad. Now, you can take a train ride through some stunning mountainous scenery aboard this narrow gauge railroad. So we highly recommend it. All of our visitors love it.
The next port of call that we'll highlight is Sitka. In Sitka, you can encounter my personal favorite of the marine big five animals, which is the sea otter. Now, I don't know if you all knew this, but when sea otters are at rest, they link up in what's known as rafts, and they wrap themselves in kelp, and they actually hold each other's hands to keep from floating away from each other. I think I can hear the collective awe on the other side of the screens. And then the final port of call that we'll highlight is Whittier. Now, Whittier is the gateway to the Prince William Sound. That is where College Fjord was located for anyone that wanted that Ivy League education that Taylor was talking about earlier. But from Whittier, you can also visit the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center, where you can see some rehabilitated bears and other native wildlife, as well as support their efforts to restore the local wood bison population.
Now, we've talked about Holland America at sea, but let's add land into the equation and talk about our Alaska cruise tours. So cruise tours are going to be traveled by both land and sea. We offer our guests more time on land than any other cruise line, with up to 11 days spent on land. Now, some of our cruise tours will take you into the interior of Alaska, with the possibility to even extend into the Yukon Territory. Now, this way of travel is simple, meaning we make it seamless for you. Every detail, including our door-to-door luggage delivery service and our Holland America owned and operated motor coaches, rail cars, and hotels, are designed to make your travels simple.
And all of that extensive infrastructure that Taylor just talked about just allows us to guarantee that every component of our cruise tours are fully accessible. So they are a great way to travel as a multi-generational family. I know that I'm looking forward to not only my parents and my brother and sister-in-law coming up, but also my nieces who are 5 and 8. She just turned 8. And there are many different ways to personalize your cruise tours. So there are over 20 different cruise tour itinerary offerings, and they are yours to customize. So you can do your cruise first or your land tour first. What we suggest that you do is that you make a bucket list of what's most important for you to see on your vacation, and you take that bucket list to your travel advisor at Expedia Cruises, and they will help you select the perfect itinerary offering for you.
Now, we offer 4 different umbrellas of cruise tours. The first 3 are going to be Alaska and Denali cruise tours, and these are termed the Classic, Signature, and Ultimate. The 4th umbrella is your Denali and your Alaska, Denali, and Yukon cruise tour. Now, we do have this helpful chart that your travel advisors all have access to that breaks down the different details of each of these umbrellas of travel. But remember, like Caitlin mentioned, there are so many itineraries that fall under each category. Now, the first type we'll talk about are going to be your Alaska and Denali cruise tours. These are going to be 7-night cruises paired with seamless land travel into Alaska's interior. A highlight for many of our guests is that we offer more time in Denali with up to 3 nights spent at our property near the national park.
And stays at that premium wilderness lodge near the national park allow our guests to immerse themselves in Alaska's wilderness and wildlife. It really is a vast playground for nature enthusiasts. And a common misconception about Denali is that you can see it from the comfort of your cruise ship. However, it's located in the heart of Alaska's interior, so you do have to travel to get there.
But with Holland America, you'll travel to or from Denali in style aboard the McKinley Explorer train. We even offer some direct cruise to Denali access. Now, these are going to be luxurious double-decker domed rail cars that give you plenty of space to move around. On the upper level, you have unparalleled views of the wilderness as you're passing through, as well as a rail guide and bartender keeping you constantly entertained and hydrated. On the lower level, you have an outdoor viewing platform where you can soak up the alpine air, as well as a full-service dining car.
And stays at our premium wilderness lodge will be at our Holland America Denali Lodge. That is your base camp for exploring Denali with us. That's where we offer those 1, 2, or 3 night stays. And it's a stunning 60-acre resort style property that is located less than 2 miles from the entrance of Denali National Park. It's situated right on the banks of the Nenana River, and there are many park views located throughout the property. Now, Denali Square is the vibrant heartbeat of our property, and that is a gathering point for guests to come listen to live music, roast s'mores at the fire pits, or even grab a drink or a bite to eat from Karsten's Public House. And we are so excited to share our most recent news, which is an upcoming planned 3-year, $70 million renovation to our Denali property. So our property will be undergoing a series of upgrades, starting with our public spaces. We'll be building some new guest buildings, and we'll even be updating some on-property dining options. So we really are not only committed to, but we are invested in bringing Denali to your doorstep.
And we were the first in Alaska, but now we are the best in Denali with a purpose-built experience that is designed to immerse you in the park. Now, we do offer 4 different destination dining experiences on property. My favorite is going to be the Music of Denali Dinner Theater show. So this is going to be a lively and comedic retelling of the story of the first folks who summited the mountain, paired with a family-style feast of barbecue brisket and salmon. I have to warn you, though, you might come home from the trip and still be singing the songs because they are very, very catchy. Now, we offer some great land meal plans. These are for the land portion of your cruise tour, and they are pre-planned prepaid, and they do include gratuities. So this is an excellent option to talk to your travel advisor about because they really can add both convenience and value to your vacation.
And in Denali, you have the opportunity to upgrade your lodging with our Denali suites and our deluxe room upgrades. Now, these are your only chance to upgrade your lodging on our land tours, but you do not have to have a suite on your cruise ship in order to be eligible for this upgrade. Some of the highlights of our Denali suites are that they are larger rooms with private balconies offering wilderness views, and there are some incredible enhanced amenities. Everything from the custom Pendleton blanket on every bed to cozy bathrobes and even heated bathroom floors. But space and availability is limited with these upgrades, so make sure you speak to your travel advisors if you're interested in these upgrades. And we do have a promotion going on right now that if you do select a Denali suite upgrade, you'll be receiving some additional land credit toward your land tour.
Now, we know you will relax and unwind at our lodge, but you probably came to Alaska for some adventure, and your best chance at crossing off the land Big Five from your bucket list is going to be on one of our included tours of the national park. Now, if you stay with us for one night, you will have the Denali Natural History Tour included. If you stay with us for 2 or 3 nights, you will have the Tundra Wilderness Tour included. Both of these tours are run by the National Park Service. To give you some context, Denali National Park is comprised of over 6 million acres of wilderness, but there is only one road into the park. The Tundra Wilderness is your chance to get as deep into the park as you can possibly go right now. A certified naturalist will drive you all the way to mile 43. To give you some context, if you were to drive privately, you could only reach mile 15 right now. So it is truly your best shot at seeing both the wilderness and the wildlife that Denali is so famous for. But honestly, the Tundra Wilderness Tour only scratches the surface. Similar to how you can book shore excursions on the cruise segment of your journey, you can book optional land excursions on the land portion. Now, some of our favorites take place near Denali. You can take a flight seeing tour to the top of the mountain, land on a glacier in a helicopter, visit some authentic working Alaskan sled dogs, or hit the trails on an ATV ride. There are so many different activities offered near Denali. Caitlin and I constantly hear from our guests that they wish they had more time in Denali. For that reason, we highly recommend a 2 or 3 night stay at our lodge near the park. With a 2-night stay, you have time for the included Tundra Wilderness, as well as maybe one other optional excursion. But with 3 nights, you have time for the Tundra Wilderness Tour and an entire free day to either explore the park, embark on land excursions, or relax at our property.
So now that we've talked about those classic, signature, and ultimate umbrellas, we're going to turn our attention to that 4th umbrella, which is the Alaska, Denali, and Yukon cruise tours. Now, these are our most comprehensive itinerary offerings because you really do see it all. For sake of ease, I'm just going to refer to these as a Yukon cruise tour from here on out. And your Yukon cruise tour is your cruise plus travel to Denali and other parts of Alaska's interior. So it's everything we've already talked about, plus a visit to the remote Yukon territory of Canada. Some of the highlights of our Yukon cruise tours are that we do offer a more flexible sailing option. So you can select either a 3, 4, or 7-night cruise, and your land portion will last anywhere from 6 to 11 days, with up to 3 nights spent in the Yukon. Now, these Yukon cruise tours have been the highest rated guest experience tour out of all of Holland America's offerings worldwide. And we think that's due in large part to the expert guidance you'll be receiving from your tour directors, because Taylor and I work as tour directors on the Yukon cruise tours. So the Yukon cruise tours are escorted group travel. So you will have a local expert tour director who travels with you for the entire land portion of your journey. And we offer our assistance with logistics, planning, and we even give you our own personalized recommendations at each stop along the way. Now, one thing that is unanimous amongst us tour directors is our love of the Yukon, which is an area that is steeped in gold rush history. In 1898, over 100,000 stampeders tried to reach Dawson City from Skagway when they heard of a gold strike. Out of those 100,000 stampeders, only 30,000 of them actually made it to Dawson because the journey was so arduous. Now, one of the routes that these stampeders would take was called the Chilkoot Trail. This was a 1,000-foot climb at a 35-degree angle, and these stampeders were required to bring with them 1 ton of goods to Dawson. So they had to climb that mountain not once, not twice, but 20 or more times. And once they got over that mountain, they still had to construct a boat to float to Dawson City. So when I say the journey was arduous, I really mean it. And traveling with us between Dawson City and Skagway, you will essentially be retracing the route that these stampeders took. No, we will not make you climb the Chilkoot Trail, don't worry, but you will definitely gain a deep appreciation and understanding for these young men and women who sought fortune in faraway lands.
A Yukon cruise tour destination near and dear to my heart is Dawson City. Caitlin and I are both so thrilled that it is one of the newest UNESCO World Heritage Sites because that just means that the global community is committed to preserving its historic value. Now, Dawson sits at the confluence of the Yukon and Klondike rivers. It was once a boom town during that Klondike gold rush, but today it is still a very active mining town. So if you're familiar with any television programs like Gold Rush, you could even see Tony Beets and his crew walking around the streets of Dawson. A highlight for many of our guests is going to be our 1 hour private chartered flight that Holland America has organized to usher them between the cities of Fairbanks and Dawson City. Now that gives folks even more time to enjoy Dawson's charms. This photo of our hotel property is wonderfully indicative of all of the colorful false facades you'll see throughout Dawson. You have wooden boardwalks rather than sidewalks, and every road in town is still a dirt road except for one. So you really feel like you're stepping back into another era. You can even take some Parks Canada tours of the lovingly preserved buildings. Holland America has added a Klondike Goldfields tour to many of its Yukon itineraries as an inclusion. So this is a great way to immerse yourself in the Klondike Gold Rush history that Caitlin discussed.
And there is something so cleansing about being in nature. And traveling with Holland America in the Yukon allows you exclusive access to untouched wilderness. And we take you where few have ventured before. Whereas Alaska receives hundreds of thousands of visitors each summer, the Yukon Territory only receives thousands. So it really is such a unique destination to travel to.
The final Yukon cruise tour destination we'll talk about is going to be Skagway, which we already mentioned as a potential cruise port. Now, some of our cruise tour itineraries offer 1 or 2 night stays at our historic hotel property in the center of Skagway. This town is only 8 blocks wide, and when all of those cruise crowds leave for the day, once the ships sail away, it really becomes yours to explore. And Skagway, as I mentioned before, is home to the #1 rated attraction in all of Alaska, which is the White Pass and Yukon Railroad. Several of our cruise tour itineraries include this either as an excursion or as part of your transportation to or from Skagway. So it truly is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ride a historic railroad.
So as you can see, Holland America truly has something to offer everyone. Whether you choose an Alaska cruise, an Alaska and Denali cruise tour, or an Alaska, Denali, and Yukon cruise tour, you will be guaranteed to make memories to last a lifetime. But remember, there are many different categories or itineraries that fall under each of these categories that your travel advisor at Expedia is going to be vital in helping you choose the perfect one for you.
Now, we just have a couple minutes left of our OnStage Alaska show. So we are going to go over some exciting and exclusive offers, first of all, and then we'll open it up to any questions that you guys might have had for us throughout our presentation. So, the first offer we want to talk about is going to be the Have It All amenity package. Now, these are going to be all of the things that you would purchase on board one of our ships. So, it applies to the cruise segment of your travel. Bundle that up to 50% off. So, things like shore excursion credits, drink package, specialty dining inclusions, and Wi Fi. Now, right now, we are doing an early booking bonus for any of our 2026 sailings. So we are taking that Have It All package at the same price as you would pay, and we are upgrading it. So rather than a signature beverage package, you are being upgraded to an elite beverage package. To give you an idea, this gives you up to 15 drinks per day. And they can be anything from soft drinks, specialty coffees, smoothies, milkshakes, alcoholic beverages, whatever you would like. We also are upgrading you from standard Wi-Fi to premium Wi-Fi so you can still Skype with everyone back home. And we are throwing in free crew appreciation that will let you take care of everyone on board that takes care of you. Of course, those shore excursions and specialty dining inclusions are still in the package. So this is a great way to maximize value on your vacation if you are booking for the 2026 season. Now, if you are booking for the 2025 season, as Andrew mentioned, there is some limited availability, and we are running an excellent promotion right now for any of you who are trying to get to Alaska in just a couple months' time. So this promotion is called the Start Your Journey Sale. This is going to apply to the Have It All fare, so you must have the Have It All amenity package to be eligible, but it is going to include free balcony upgrades, free kids fare, so anyone traveling with you under the age of 18 can travel for free, and we are giving you a bonus of up to $400 of onboard credit. These are very limited promotions, so make sure that you talk to your travel advisor at Expedia Cruises for how long this promotion will be running for our 2025 season.
And then finally, as a special thank you for attending today's OnStage Alaska event, we are also offering some more additional combined onboard and land credits. So up to $350. That's in correlation to which itineraries you're booking, which stateroom categories, but up to $350 in more combined onboard and land credit, as well as just a $25 deposit per person to secure your preferred sailing date. Now, this deposit is refundable. So it is a really great worry-free way to really put that deposit in and have, that vacation booked, but it is refundable. So that's awesome. Now, all of these deals are also stackable with each other. And then finally, if you did have anyone in mind that, might not be with you at your computer screens today, but you want them with you in Alaska or the Yukon, then you can also extend these offers to them as long as you all book with Expedia Cruises, because they are agency exclusive offerings. Now, this OnStage Alaska offer does only run for 2 weeks, so it is a limited time promotion, but it's a great way to get that sailing date secured. So with that being said, we want to thank you all for attending today. It's been our honor to share our experiences and love of Alaska and the Yukon, and we hope we see you there next summer or beyond. So we want to thank you all, and we'll open it back up to Andrew for anything else.
Wowza. Wow. There was so much in this presentation. It's like drinking from the fire hose. Well, you make Alaska shimmer and shine. Absolutely gorgeous. I've been there a few times, and I think I have a few new spots to visit. With that, I'll turn this over to our audience. You can go ahead and unmute yourselves one at a time, or if you wish to put your hand up, we can unmute you from there. Don't all speak at once.
That just means they got all their questions
That we
answered.
did our job,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you have done a fabulous job, even though you might be from sunny Florida. Alaska should be very proud. You do, Holland America has made, I say you, because you personally have made this investment in the land, but yeah, Holland America has made a huge investment in the land side of things. A couple questions I had. How far does that road go in Alaska? You said mile 15 and 41, I believe it was.
Yes. Okay. So it goes further than 43 miles typically, but it's been under construction for the last several years. I believe it was a landslide.
There was a landslide.
So the park road is basically cut off at mile 43, and only
Mm.
park rangers can access even past mile 15. So in the future, once it's all opened up again, we don't have an actual date for that. Sometime, hopefully in the next several years, you'll be able to get a little bit deeper. I think it was maybe to mile 60-ish.
Yes.
But
I
that's
thought
as far as the road
that's
runs.
good. I didn't know that. I thought you were going to be funny. It goes all the way to Vancouver, Andrew.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yes. I'm so glad you brought up about the cuisine on board and at your lodges. There is a huge sustainability practice that goes on with Holland America, so you are going to get the very best of what's caught in Alaskan waters, not shipped in. So that is very much kudos to those. One of the many things that Holland America does for sustainability out there. I do see a question that popped up on the chat here. The question is, do perks apply if we've already booked? I can take that if you wish. No, these are for new bookings. So I compare this to buying gas. Today you might have got it for $1.80, and tomorrow you can get it for $1.77. So at the time that you originally booked this, there would have been a promotion and offer. This is for new bookings going forward. I do recommend you do reach out to your travel consultants here at Expedia Cruises North Vancouver and Lynn Valley. We go through lots of training. We're very aware of what's going on. This is serves as a great reminder. It's going to get shared with the team. Thank you very much for spending the time here with us this afternoon, or if you're watching this at a different time of day, thank you for doing that. We love Holland America here at Expedia Cruises, and we love Alaska. Thank you very much. And friends, don't let friends travel to Alaska without travel insurance. So be sure to ask us how to protect that next trip. Thank you, and have yourselves a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.